Last year, I did a video revisiting 2013 a decade later, and I've had some people ask me to do it for 2014, and who am I but a willing servant? Before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, ThredUp. They're an online consignment and thrift store, but they're also one of the largest fashion resale platforms on the planet. I like them because they make it a lot easier to buy secondhand, because I can shop by size, item, brand, or color, and there's new items every day. It's pretty much the perfect combination between the ease of online shopping, but you're still getting all the perks of buying secondhand, whether that's finding a good deal, wanting to find more unique pieces that you're not seeing in stores right now, or you just want to reduce your environmental impact. I usually find myself on there by searching my favorite brands. At this point, I only shop for Free People on ThredUp because while I do like Free People, I do not like paying full price for it. For example, this jacket that I got. This had an estimated retail price of $212 and I got it for $67.99. I have been scouring the earth for a jacket like this ever since my dog ate the pocket out of the one that I used to own in 2012. These types of utility jackets, in my opinion, are just timeless. It just goes with a lot more stuff. And it's just a nice jacket. Like, it's got a great structure to it. It's not flimsy. I also got this really cute baby doll-esque shirt from Free People as well. This had an estimated retail price of $116 and I got it for $36.99. I feel like this is such a cool top to pair with pants to kind of make it a bit more fun and feminine. But I also like that the print is like a dark plaid. So while it's fun and feminine, it doesn't feel like super girly. Does this make any sense to anybody other than me? Probably not. I actually paired it with these jeans that I also got from Free People. They had an estimated retail price of $137, but I got them for only $43.99. I also got this super cute distressed pullover also from Free People. I was not joking. I tore that section of the website up. But this had a retail price of $158, but I got it for only $46.99. And listen, yes, I am the type of person that buys a sweater with holes in them. I think it looks cool. And it's made of a lighter material, so it's better for that transition from winter to spring. I ended up pairing it with these khaki pants that had an estimated retail price of $137, but I got them for only $48.99. If you like some of the stuff I picked up, ThredUp actually has a feature where you can check out the things that I got, as well as a bunch of different items that I favorited that you guys can check out and shop through. And you can actually get 35% off plus free shipping on your first order with code Casey. So definitely check that out if you're interested. I could not recommend them more, but otherwise let's get back to the video. Jesus Christ! Not only can I not make this video without mentioning this song, I really don't think it would be appropriate to start it off with anything other than Bang Bang. The iconic collaboration between Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj, also commonly referred to as the loudest song ever. Though many people have tried, and trust me, they have. You said it was over! Nobody has been able to blow up a microphone quite the way they did. The VMA one was especially cool because they had Ariana doing her hits, Nicki doing hers, then Jessie J bringing them all together to perform Bang Bang. Guys, this was like jobbing for America. That was a well-deserved Kids' Choice Award. The most notorious part of the song though was the cover art. They weren't even on the same planet when these photos were taken, let alone the same room. I think what's so bizarre to me about this is that they all did the music video together, which usually it's the other way around. With a lot of collabs, singers will like green screen themselves into the music video so it looks like they're all there. But in this case, everybody made it for the music video. They just, for whatever reason, couldn't just take a photo with the same background. Like, why is Ariana orange? The sheer amount of recreations for this thing were insane. Like, people were begging for this shit to get changed. Which at that point, I have to say it's almost commendable that they were just like, no. Why I wanted to start with this song though is that I started to realize that it actually had a lot of connections to people who had a breakout year in 2014. Like, Bang Bang as a song turned out to be quite foundational. And I know some of you guys are looking at this and going, Casey, this is looking a little bit Katy Perry mental hospital doll, but listen, in 5 minutes, not only are you gonna agree with me, you're gonna be a believer. Just walk with me here, okay? Everything comes back to Bang Bang. First of all, Ariana Grande, who was featured on the song, had a massive year in 2014, and that was also the same year that she released My Everything. I distinctly remember this album cover getting so much shit back in the day, which honestly, in hindsight, it is a bit weird the longer you look at it, but the hits on this thing. She said, I'm gonna give you songs to dance to cry to run through an apocalypse to, and she's gonna give you one for when your boyfriend turns out to be gay. She had range. This was also the year that all the pop girls were collaborating with Zedd. Ariana's take was Break Free. Fun fact, I almost ran somebody over while blaring this in my car at the time. I remember this so clearly because it was close enough that I had that whole I need to pull over and reflect because that can seriously never happen again moment. But as I'm having this epiphany, Ariana Grande is still in my speakers. The Ariana Grande come up of 2014 was serious though. Like, the performances? My god. This one's technically from 2015, but it's like the clearest audio of that note change she would always do when she sang Problem. And this note change is so iconic that I know at least some of you are watching this thinking, I know exactly which note change this bitch is gonna pull up. Like, that girl was hungry as hell. A lesser known song on this album though that will always hold a special place in my heart is Hands on Me, because everybody hates that song except for me. I will admit, I went back to re-listen to it for this video fully expecting to be like, wow, this aged like shit. I totally understand why people don't like it. Tell me why? I had it on repeat for the rest of the day. Now before you go listen to it, give me a second. I need to formulate a defense against the bad taste allegations you're gonna throw at me that instead make it your fault instead of mine. Before you judge this song, you need to understand that this is a silly song, okay? This is for the people with whimsy who can suspend their disbelief on how goofy the instrumental, rap, and lyrics are and just enjoy themselves. A lot of you will likely not be capable of that, and that's because of your spirit. If you do not like this song, it's because you're a bad person. Reflect. Like, I'm sorry, but when that intro comes on, keep your hands on me, don't take them off. Until I say so, let me break you off. We'll be taking off. What do you want from me? Alright, moving on. Nicki, also tied to the Bang Bang collab, released Pink Print this year. Only, Truffle Butter, and Feeling Myself were some of the big songs. Anaconda was also a huge hit. That music video was so good, and there was like a whole meme over the cover art, but Get on Your Knees was special to me. And it also strengthens my lunacy, because this is when the Ariana and Nicki duo really solidified itself. Like, you have to understand, Get on Your Knees walked so Side to Side could run. We have to thank our elders, and I will do so willingly. Got a bow on my panties because my ass is a present? See, I can't sing along to this line because my ass is not a present. It's more of like a small party favor, or more accurately the trinket you get at the end of a dentist appointment. Either way, this song was really good. Now we need to go back to Ariana for the next connection, because technically while this isn't the biggest song off My Everything anymore, 2014 Problem was serious. And who was featured on it? Miss Iggy Azalea. 2014 was also a huge year for Iggy. That year she had Fancy, Black Widow, and No Mediocre. Stop it. Do not look at me like that. By far the biggest song out of the four was Fancy. This shit was catchy as hell at the time. And of course the Clueless inspired music video was all over Tumblr. Like, it was serious. First Things First on the Realist and I Be the IGGY were everywhere. I won't lie, looking at the four songs in front of me now, I feel like the one that aged the best to me personally is No Mediocre, even though T.I. creeps the shit out of me in that music video. Do not talk about my Nunu like that. At the time, I never noticed the timestamps that they put on this thing. 11:31, start today. 4:15, playing football. 6:27, still kicking it. 10 p.m. turning it? What? There's an unemployed friend on a Tuesday joke to be made here. Will I make it? Probably. I think I am. I'm making it right now. And yes, I get it. Iggy Azalea cannot freestyle. We've all seen the video. But do you want me to get on here and lie and say that I didn't enjoy her feature on this? Party wanna lay it down on Iggy. Iggy gave it to him twice. Now he want a 3-mic Bieber. Cause I won't. Speaking of Iggy though, this leads us to our next connection, Charli XCX. She was featured on Fancy, but 2014 in general was actually a really big year for her. While nobody likes this album in hindsight, Charli included, whether you like it or not, Sucker was notable. Boom Clap and Break the Rules were both big singles. Personally at the time, I preferred Body of My Own, but I think that was mainly because I was like a 16-year-old girl angry at the world. But part of the reason Boom Clap was so big was because it was included on the Fault in Our Stars soundtrack. We'll get to that later. In the meantime, guess who Charli XCX shared a track list with on the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 soundtrack? Ariana Grande. It all comes back to Bang Bang, you see? Ariana contributed All My Love, which, honestly, this is still a good song to this day. Now, did it make sense for the Hunger Games soundtrack? I don't know about that. But listen, maybe canonically Ariana Grande was like the Lucy Gray of that generation. She was in those district pubs popping her pissoir. Charli's song, on the other hand, was Kingdom, which a few years ago it was revealed that at the time of writing and putting the song on the soundtrack, she had never watched a Hunger Games movie before. Instead, she just asked Lord, who was also on the soundtrack, to summarize the movies for her so she could write something that made sense. Funny enough, this was also the year of that infamous clip where Charli was mistaken by an interviewer for Lord.
I have to say that I love your music. One of my favorite songs that you have is Royals. Where did you get the inspiration for that?
The Mockingjay Part 1 soundtrack, though, is where you can also find the final connection, and that's fellow contributor Tinashe. In 2014, she released one of the most iconic songs ever. Now, in review, is there a coherent thesis to all of this? Not really. I think more than anything, I've just personally decided that everything above is related to Bang Bang. To me, it was 2014's Madam Web in a way. Crazy chart aside, 2014 was also a really big year for Five Sauce. They were promoting their debut album, which had the huge hit She Looks So Perfect. You really could not get any more 2014 than that American Apparel underwear line. There's a lot of history between Five Sauce and One Direction, which is why I know more than I should about that group, but one of those historical moments I remember happening at the time was when one of the band members had a diss track written about them. That band member was Michael Clifford, and the diss track was written by none other than Abigail Breslin. And yes, I mean that Abigail Breslin.
I liked about it kind of came like as like a, she like is like, oh, yeah.
I want to see what you just said written on paper.
She had decided to randomly drop a song and music video titled You Suck, where she aired her grievances towards Michael and their previous relationship. More than anything, this music video just reminded me that 2014 really was the year of Big Hat, which makes sense because Happy was one of the biggest songs that year and Pharrell's was practically glued to his head. Now lyrically, the song is definitely lacking any level of style or finesse. You really need to learn to wash your hair. Overall, you're not a catch. You're just a dumbass. Bleaching your hair? Well, I hope it all falls out. This sounds like my comment section. It's a very direct way of songwriting. But I will say, Abigail Breslin has yet to meet a bridge she couldn't cross. Like, what exactly did he do to her? The band couldn't even really avoid this because a few days later on a radio show, they ended up getting asked about it.
I'm spoken to her in a year. Yeah.
And they said about as much as they could, considering the source material.
Say, if we said something, it'd be like bowls or something.
Something like that.
People really are not messy like this anymore, and I have to commend Abigail for that. Now, because of her age, Abigail Breslin is not a mother. I would more so delegate her to maybe messy second cousin. And I say that lovingly. I would love to hear about her drama at Christmas. This year wasn't just about 2014 though. This was also the year of 1989. And while Shake It Off had been met with some mixed reviews, Blank Space was a serious hit. Like, you have to understand, the hype around this album was crazy. Taylor was on Tumblr interacting with fans a ton at the time to get everyone hyped up. She was on there posting like cookie recipes and shit, sending people gift boxes. This was later parodied in Scream Queens. The drama of that era at that point though, because keep in mind the promotions for it went past 2014, was that a month before the album came out, Taylor had hinted at who the song Bad Blood was about, saying it described the interaction she had with another female artist who, and I'm paraphrasing here, basically tried to sabotage her tour by hiring dancers out from under her. People connected the dots on this pretty quickly and figured out it was Katy Perry, who was also having a big year in 2014 because of the Dark Horse video. Now, Katy got shady. Watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing. Beyond that, things just kind of festered for a while. It wasn't until 2015 with the Bad Blood music video that things kind of woke back up, but that is beyond our time constraint. I'm trying to imagine a 2024 version of this. Not necessarily Clairo steals one of Boy Genius's background dancers because they don't have any, but why don't you just steal one of the Boy Genius? There's 3 of them. Just pick one. Now at this point you might be thinking, damn, 2014 was such a good year for music. 1989 was a great album, Lana had just released Ultraviolence, Beyonce's Self-Titled was getting promoted that year, and the I Woke Up Like This trend was happening. U2 had just installed their album on iPhones across the globe against everybody's will. But there were also a lot of bad songs this year. But if I could go back in time and stop the creation of one song from that year, I have an animalistic hatred for this song, to the degree that I'm convinced that one of the members must have like run over my dog in a past life or something, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense. So which one of you was it? On a slightly creepier note, this was also the year of Tiptoeing in My Jordans. Tiptoeing in my Jordans. To me, this guy feels like 2014's version of that like Willy Wonka TikTok guy. In that both, for whatever reason, were very popular with a lot of people, but personally they made me feel very scared and uncomfortable, in a way I've only ever experienced with like mascots, or that TikTok dog. This song was really popular on Vine though, which arguably I feel like as an app also entered its peak this year. Like everyone was doing it for the vibe. This was the year of Got the Club Going Up on a Tuesday, a potato flew around my room.
For all those haters out there, suck my ass.
Looking back, I feel like the general consensus is that most Vines were just a product of their time. I'm in my mom's car. Oh my god. I distinctly remember finding the Gas Cat to be the funniest thing I'd ever watched at the time.
You want a treat? Yes. You want one? Yes.
The first one still gets a giggle out of me. What do you want from me? I'm in a good mood today. I'll laugh at anything. Meghan was in full force at this point too. But we've already talked about them before. I'd much rather talk about a different white boy who also went viral that year, Alex from Target. He went viral all because of thousands of girls thirsting over this one photo. This man got on Ellen for this shit. Virality 10 years ago compared to today is just so different. For one, something to be considered going viral, I feel like has to reach like tens of millions more people than it used to. And even then, it's like forgotten about in 2 days for the next thing. I like to imagine that if Ellen was still around, why didn't I say that like she's dead? Rest in peace, Ellen. What I was trying to say there is that I like to imagine if Ellen was still a TV host, she'd like gather the 14 people that went viral that week and play like musical chairs with them. I feel like that would be kind of fun. Some other iconic vines were of course the Rick Ross one.
I eat pears now and shit like that. Shout out to all the pear.
I also have to mention the basketball girl and fish tank video because it took me so long to find this goddamn video.
Sit your ass down somewhere.
I was sat there filling my Google search with girl posing fish hits tank, girl posing fish tank, angry fish girl in basketball uniform vine, and all that was coming up was this goddamn YouTube short about a girl who fell through a ceiling. Like, what does that have to do with anything? And why is she looking at me like it's my fault? On a more relaxing note, the goth dancing edits were also big this year. I'm sure from the quality you can tell that this video wasn't made in 2014, it's just that it gained traction as a trend. And this video is still used like all the time. So I feel like it aged pretty well. I think the vine that really encapsulates 2014 culturally though is definitely this one.
We in this bitch, finna get crunk, eyebrows on fleek, the fuck.
Not only was this line used to death back then, but it was also around the time that the great Anastasia Dip-Brow Gold Rush started. Like there was no clean girl aesthetic. Everybody's eyebrows were bricked up like a Muppet. Alright, it's finally time to go back to the Fault in Our Stars. 2014 was the true peak of John Green hysteria. And this movie was the strongest anti-smoking campaign to ever hit the Tumblr demographic. Remember, we were just coming off the year of AM. Smoking was not only British, but cool. Dare had to come up with something quick.
It's a metaphor, see? You put the thing that does the killing right between your teeth, but you never give it the power to kill you.
Fuck Dune. We need to get Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya in a Fault in Our Stars remake. It's a metaphor, see? You put the watermelon bubblegum between your teeth, you don't give it the power to do its killing. And if no one else, I know at least Club Chalamet will eat it up. 2014 was also the year of Frozen. Everyone was obsessed with that movie, which of course snowballed so stupid into this moment at the Oscars. You can throw an egg at me if you see me ever in public for that one.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Now the reason I bring this up is because this is probably the only moment I am ever going to have enough of a connection to be able to bring up Idina Menzel's TikTok. And that's because she reacted to the moment on its 10-year anniversary.
Hey, Adele Dazeem, it's Idina Menzel. I just want to say happy birthday.
But more importantly, she's one of my favorite TikTok accounts because of the way that she promotes her music on there.
Got a beast inside and I'm waking it up.
I'm sorry, this is amazing. Whose front lawn is she on?
But I woken up the
yes.
beast in me. Oh, look at me.
Whoa. Okay. I think what I love so much about this is that she is a famous singer, resorting to the kind of things I would do when I was like 9, making an iMovie music video to Hot and Cold. Now I don't think I can get away with making this video without mentioning American Horror Story. Divergent? Yes. When I gotta fight the 2 people that care about that franchise, that's fine. Freak Show? I don't think so. I'm gonna be so honest with you right now though. I have next to no cultural knowledge on American Horror Story, which as a teenager who frequented Tumblr and Twitter at the time, was a very polarizing position to be in. And I was simply there because I'm a baby. Like, can we be serious for a second? I couldn't even deal with the tiptoeing in my Jordans guy. What makes you think I could watch an episode of this shit? All I know is that this season, Evan Peters was pulling a TI with his lobster hands, Violet and Tate shippers were sparring all over the timeline against anybody who shipped Jimmy and Maggie, Sarah Paulson was playing a singing conjoined twin, and Twisty the Clown, I have a bone to pick with your scary ass. Normal people scare me. Yeah, normal people are scared of you, alright? You keep your blogging scary shit onto my dashboard and now I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I went on Tumblr for 3 very specific reasons. Outfit inspiration, changing my theme for fun, and pictures of Zayn Malik. Which, I mean, speaking of photos from 2014 involving Zayn Malik, we might as well talk about this photo. I had this photo of Zayn Malik at the 2014 AMAs saved in my photo album the way that women would have a photo of their husband in their locket while he went off to war. Like, I don't care who you are. Everybody knows this photo. Or the Cameron Dallas one. Looking at them all on the carpet though, can you imagine being Niall? Like you are on day 673 of Lou Teasdale bleaching the ever-living shit out of your hair. You're dressed like a member of Five Sauce for some reason. Harry's dressed like a pilgrim, while Zayn's just there like... 2014 wasn't just the year of eclectic styling for One Direction. It was also the year of the Directioners version of the blank for Bieber situation. It plays out almost the exact same way. Basically, a video of Louis and Zayn smoking had been leaked while they were in Peru, and not long after, a hashtag called Nude for 1D and Skin for 1D popped up on Twitter, where the person who started the hashtag posted a photo of a naked lady and said this was all in response to the video that had leaked. Liam actually responded to it indirectly. Today is such a weird day. Why don't we do a hashtag wear a hoodie for 1D or a hashtag wear as many clothes as you can at once for 1D? As I was kind of sorting all of these 2014 moments, I could not for the life of me figure out where to put this, so I guess it's just gonna stand alone as a unique side hustle. And that would be the ghost-written sci-fi dystopian book put out by Kendall and Kylie Jenner called Rebels, City of Indra. This series has 2 installments, and both pages on Goodreads are an absolute bloodbath. To think that ignorant YA haters are gonna put this book even in the same category as books like The Mortal Instruments. Oh. The fact that my babies are going to have to share a shelf at a bookstore with this garbage, barely written by 2 rich, pretentious, ditzy teenagers, makes me want to punch a wall. Now, why are we comparing the two? I feel like this is a bit shit versus poop, no? Like maybe Kylie was too busy serving blue hair to write a good book. Is that a crime? My god, this wasn't serious though. I would honestly be surprised if either of them even remember that these exist. Actually, on that note, did anyone read these? How were they? Definitely an interesting time to look back on though. As usual with these videos, if there are any 2014 memories or moments that I missed that you want to talk about, definitely put it in the comments down below. It kind of turns it into like a fun little time capsule. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video though. If you did, feel free to give it a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Don't forget, you can get 35% off plus free shipping on your first order at ThreadUp with code Casey. You can also follow me outside of YouTube on Twitch, Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram, Spotify. All that stuff will be in the pinned comment down below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one.